Each day at Wesley Meadows is a new opportunity to serve older adults and reimagine retirement living. It is the heart of their mission that inspires their team to provide the kind of fun atmosphere and care residents would want for themselves. Experience the warm spirit and faith-based difference of Wesley Meadows. Call 662-429-2070 and schedule your visit today. Hello, and welcome to the Real Hernando podcast, presented to you by Wesley Meadows Retirement Community and produced by Shelby Productions and SRP Studios. This podcast is created to highlight Hernando, Mississippi community by sharing the stories of its business owners and community leaders. We hope these stories help strengthen the fabric of the city we love near and dear, Hernando, the Real Hernando. Please follow us at therealhernando.com for all channels and social media platforms. I am your host, Derrick, and today we are speaking with Brandon Gustafson, co-owner and projects manager for Gustafson Properties Custom Homes, North Mississippi's custom home builder. You can find his office at 1230 Monteith Avenue.
That's right. Suite
B, right here in Hernando. And for more information, go to GustafsonProperties.com. Let me spell Gustafson for the audience. Gustafson Properties.com.
That's right.
All right, Brandon, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
So, quick little context. You reached out, I believe, and asked or wanted to meet to see if it would be possible for you to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
I said, absolutely, let's meet. Only that was like 9 months ago.
It was a while back, yeah.
And we finally made it happen.
Yeah.
There was some reasons for cancellation, and then my journey in creating a studio began this summer, which I was like, all right, I knew that your interview would be better fit for studio rather than doing it in your office.
Yeah.
Because I had to do everything remotely.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, Brandon, I think I said, hey, I just got a room. My studio should be ready in a month. And I was absolutely crazy thinking it would take a month. It's now several months and still work in progress, but
well worth it. It's an awesome studio here.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And New Year, man, 2023.
That's right.
Let's do this thing. All right, great. So we finally made it happen, and we want to talk about you, obviously, to introduce you to the community more, but then of course talk about the business as well.
Yeah.
And I know your family's very much integrated in your story. Obviously, personally, but also your business as well. So, but let's start with where you're from.
Well, I'm from Hernando. I've been here my entire life. I live on out actually in the Moortown area, down at the end of Fog Road. Mm-hmm. I grew up out there. We grew up on a little street out there in the county, Carolyn Drive, and I lived there for the first 16 years of my life, moved into the city limits, and then when my wife and I got married, I couldn't wait to get back out into the woods, so we bought a piece of property down there. And
again, towards Fog Road?
Yeah, right around the corner from where I grew up. So,
and what is the name, if you go past Fog, there's another name out there, Arroyo? No, what is it?
Well, it's on where we live is on the south side of Fog Road. So if you take 304 straight out to Fog Road, go south on Fog, we go all the way down to where it forks. And basically, if you go left, it takes you to the boat ramp. Right is Pleasant Hill Drive where we live. So
okay, great. Because I have some friends that live further out Commerce past Fog, and it takes you into a different section that has a different name, but is still considered Hernando. I can't for the life of me remember this, but
like subdivision or
no, like just a different town name.
Eudora. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, so I kind of live between Hernando and Eudora. So.
You saved me because I felt like I was sinking,
No.
digging us into a hole here. But thank you. Yes, that place. But okay, let's talk about your family. Married, kids?
Yes. So I got married in 2007. My wife is Angel Gustafson, and we have had 4 boys since then. Can't can't have girls, so I don't know.
It's a handful. Four boys.
Yeah. But we make jokes about it a lot because I tell everybody I'm kind of building my own framing crew.
There you go.
So
what are the ages?
11, 7, and 6, fixing to be 7, and then we have a younger, middle boy that we actually lost a few years ago. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, we still include him. He's still he's a part of our family, part of our life, and yeah, it definitely changed our lives. So
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, it's awesome, man. Having house full of boys is.
Are they into sports?
Yeah, so my oldest is into soccer. My 2 little ones are more into baseball. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's cool. Baseball, that's a dying breed right there.
I know, and we talked about that a lot because when I was younger, my wife and I talked about it because when I was younger, baseball was just kind of what you did, and like all these other sports have started to, take the lead, I guess you would say. Like my oldest, he didn't really care all that much about baseball. He always kind of went towards soccer. So when the little ones started to play baseball, it was kind of exciting to get back out there in the fields. And
because when I grew up, it was all about wiffle ball.
Yeah,
and me in the town, we didn't have phones and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we're like forced to go outside. Like get out of here.
Yeah.
So this buddy of mine, his name was Ken Bunker, just had the right kind of lawn, had a fence. So that was like the home run mark. He actually had 2 trees like on each corner of his lot, just coincidentally. So those were like the foul poles. It was fun.
Yeah,
man. Had a great time playing that wiffle ball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But but it takes a situation like that to have fun. Where basketball and soccer, you get a hoop. You're full. You're playing basketball all day by yourself. You can just do it alone.
Yeah.
So I think that's why those sports probably are a little more popular.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so you were a firefighter here for the Hernando Fire Department. What timeline was that?
So I actually got hired on at Hernando in 2009. My brother and I really, it was really just kind of a spontaneous career choice at the time. A couple of years after my wife and I had been married, I just got to talking about being interested, maybe seeing what that was about. And so, yeah, we started volunteering. And then I got hired on in 2009 at Hernando. He got hired on a year later in Horn Lake. And then I was at Hernando for about 6.5 years. And that's about the time frame I was there. So.
Do you know Chris Camp?
No, I don't know him.
Okay. I don't know what his. You know what? Actually, he's a friend of mine. That's why I'm wearing his shirt. He's Motivate with Coach Camp is his platform.
Yeah,
he used to be a firefighter.
Yeah,
I think it was Memphis. I think that's why.
I got you.
If you're listening, Chris, I'm sorry. I'm screwing you up there. But what was that experience like? I mean, 6 years. It sounds like maybe it was something that you had enough time with and wanted to move on?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when my youngest boy was born, I left, and we had already kind of discussed that I was going to be moving on after that. I just wanted to be at home more with the family. Being a firefighter was an awesome experience because it's you get to kind of be part of that brotherhood. You definitely get to experience, a different events that you don't typically deal with the normal career path.
PTSD level experiences.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's never the same thing. It's always a little different. And, yeah, that was fun, but it is 24-hour shifts when you're there and kind of a weird schedule. A lot of holidays you miss depending on how your schedule falls. And, after my last son was born, it just kind of felt like the right time to move on. So
it's so noble, though.
Yeah.
Obviously police and fire, critical.
Yeah.
Police gets all the bad pub, right?
Yeah.
Firefighters don't. They're just always heroes, because you don't mess with a firefighter. I mean, you guys run into the fire.
Yeah,
literally. That's noble. So thank you for that time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, then let's just talk about school. I know you went to the University of Memphis in Northwest. What was your main study?
Honestly, it was a mixture of business courses. I ended up just getting an interdisciplinary studies degree. When I finally got my bachelor's degree, it was a business degree with an emphasis in fire science. And so I kind of finished. I had a couple of courses left when I was in the fire department, and I finished those up mostly online. And that's kind of what that was. To be completely honest, I was pursuing the piece of paper. So I was,
I mean, that's the thing about college, right?
Yeah.
You got to get that piece of paper and hope that you're not in debt for the next 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, okay. Well, then now let's jump to the business. And it was 9 months ago we spoke, so sorry if I misremember, but I know that your father's involved with this story, correct?
He is.
So let's start there, and how this business began.
Yeah, so he honestly, in coordination with my grandfather, back in the late 90s, he had been in different roles in construction for several, for really most of his life. He had done some framing, he had kicked in carpet and laid ceramic tile and just different areas of construction. But then in the late 90s, he and my grandfather started doing some stuff together, doing some remodeling, purchasing, some houses and flipping them, and just kind of getting his feet wet in that area. And basically, they did several of those renos and even built a couple of small houses. And then in 2001, Gustafson Properties was officially formed, and that's kind of where the roots of that all began.
What year again was that? What year?
That was 2001 that we were officially formed. So
wow, 22 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
So you were what, 5 then?
No, I was in high school, so that would have been. I graduated in 2004, so yeah.
What was that experience like for you when you saw your dad start a business?
I've always admired my dad for that, especially now as an adult. I mean, it's definitely you have to take a chance and really risk it all. And,
yes.
And my mom was a major factor in that as well. They both supported one another. He kind of, another thing that I didn't really mention, he started out in real estate when he left his 9-to-5 job and kind of went out on his own. He started in real estate, and while he was kind of getting that built up and doing these renos and just doing some of this, work that kind of ended up being the foundation for what would eventually become our company. My mom was handling, books and continuing to, work her job as well and stuff. So,
Team effort.
Yeah. And I think it in the long run, kind of taught me a lot about marriage, how you're supposed to support your spouse and kind of you're in it together.
We hope your wife agrees.
I hope she does too. Yeah. There's probably been times she's doubted me.
But again, that's a real family business.
Yeah.
And helping each other out, the yin to the yang, focusing on their strengths in order to make it work. And then your mom was also working on another job, you said, and raising you. And do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
So she had her handfuls.
Oh, yeah.
Hands full too.
Yeah.
So, well, that's awesome. And you graduate, you go to school. Is it after the fire department that you start integrating into your family business, or what's the genesis and story of how you ended up joining it?
Well, and so the family business has a little bit to do with leaving the fire department as well, because I came into the picture around 2012, and I say came into the picture, I mean, I grew up with it. So I'd always been in and out of Gustafson properties, doing different things, learning different trades. But in 2012, my dad asked if I wanted to come and, become a partner with him. And so I that was kind of my step in that direction. And then we just kind of got a little bit busier. Obviously, my wife and I, like I said, we were, having our boys, and it was getting busier at home. And so when the time came to split from the fire department, that was kind of
This is what you jumped into.
Yeah, I was kind of doing it in coordination with the fire department for.
There was an overlap. For a minute,
2 to 3 years, and then it
that's a long time. Yeah,
and then it kind of got to the point where it was time to just pursue it wholeheartedly.
Take that chance. I know that immediately means, drop in pay.
Yeah.
But then the goal is to bring that business up to make up for it, and then your unlimited potential after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was still, business decisions are all risks in that way. And but I mean, 2.5 years is a long time to overlap that.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, with the fire department, like I said, you can't leave. I mean, that's you're there for 24 hours. You have to be, within running distance of those guys at all time. I mean, even if you're out jogging or something like that, you have to be able to get back to the station so that you can, go to a call if a tone drops. And with building, it's kind of, when you reach certain phases of construction, there's clients that, they want you to, be there to, if they have questions about something or whatever the case may be. So as we got busier and busier, you have to keep in mind we were kind of rebuilding from the recession too. So as we began to build back up and everything, that was it just kind of got to be a little bit of a tension between times. So.
Yeah, and then it's time to move on and let's grow this thing. You know?
That's right.
So custom homes.
Yep.
So I'm not familiar with all of that space in that industry, but obviously that means you get a air quote, for lack of a better term, client, and they say, I want a home that looks like this, and then you just start from scratch and start designing it for them. Is that how that works?
Yeah. We work in coordination with a couple of different architects, and basically that's really where we've turned our focus over the last several years is not just home building, but really trying to innovate the process from beginning to end. When you talk to people about building a home, many of them will tell you it was a tough experience or it was a hard experience. And, truthfully, it's a very long experience. It's not a transaction like you have when you go to purchase lunch or, something like that. I mean, you're dealing with somebody over the course of several months and so many different factors. And that's really where our focus, as we began to kind of rebuild from the crash, we kind of started looking at ways we can, make this a little bit more enjoyable process for clients and kind of what we could do to set expectations. Of course, one of the big things that we focus in on now is pre-construction, which is
not. What does that mean?
That's where you kind of start on the front end with your client. You do consultations and you discuss the plans that they're looking at or that they're having custom drawn, what they're looking to have incorporated into their home, what's important to them, as opposed to just getting a set of plans and saying, I want to build this and okay, I'll build it for you for this much money and moving on. And then getting kind of, caught off guard by a bunch of surprises.
There's a heavier level of consultation on the front end.
Yeah. And that's I think that's one thing right now that probably sets us apart a little bit more. But that's really where our focus is because I think, that helps to make things more enjoyable down the road if everybody's kind of on the same page from the beginning.
Like you said, no surprises, or at least you try to minimize and mitigate as many surprises as possible.
Yeah.
You're always going to have some, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But from the customer's perspective, they must feel more confident and comfortable knowing that y'all are on the same page. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, we've built a good reputation and and I feel like when we finish with our clients, it's been an enjoyable process.
So how many houses do you think you build in a year? Is that average or?
Right now, we have been building about maybe 7 to 10, something like that.
Wow.
Being custom, we're not really in a particular subdivision. So that's something that you have to take into account too, is, as opposed to a production builder that may go in and drop, 20 slabs and they're side by side. Right now, our custom homes stretch from, we have a dirt work that we're fixing to start in Lake Cormorant, and we also have a house in Holly Springs. So, what we build, what we commit to, has a little bit to do with, how that's that's going to stretch across the county and everything.
It's all standalone jobs, and which just takes more time and that custom, but that strong relationship with the client, for sure. It's not, you guys aren't about just numbers and like how many houses can we sell in a year. Like some people build these subdivisions, and God love them for that too. It's all. If I was to buy a house, that's where I'm buying my house. Right? I'm not going to be able to come to custom homes unless you cut me a good deal. I don't know. We'll talk later off of mic. No, just kidding.
For sure.
but I did have a point there. But yeah, so it would probably be one of those deals where you almost don't want too many in a year, because that must just make too much to focus on, and it would deplenish some of your.
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of that's something we've been talking about a lot moving into 2023, and kind of making plans for this next year and what it all entails. Is we don't want to get to. There's a book I read by a Chick-fil-A manager, and I can't remember the name of the book now, but I think it's called "It's My Pleasure," actually. But somewhere in there
would make sense.
Yeah, I think it is. But somewhere in there, she talks about the founder. Who was it? Kathy Truitt? Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, she was just saying that one thing that he said over and over again, and it always stuck with me, was we have to get better before we get bigger. And and I thought that was really a neat thing to hear from a founder of such a renowned company. And I try to think about that when I'm thinking in terms of my own business as well. Is we could reel in the leads, and we could take on a lot of people, and we could get rolling, but I really would like to try to, hone in on this process and make sure that we're not losing the quality along the way and stuff.
Yeah, so. And it's wise words, as simple as it seems, especially on paper. But you want to be prepared, grow that foundation. Some businesses can grow too fast and they can't keep up, and then sometimes they can go bankrupt. Yeah,
and that's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah, it's like you have all this rev coming in, but your cash flow can't keep up.
Yeah.
So there's that factor too. So well, that's interesting. So I want to go over some awards. You got Certified Graduate Builder from the National Association of Home Builders. Tell us a little more about that.
So the Home Builders Association, or National Association of Home Builders, they have different designations that are basically kind of like certifications that you can get in other areas of work, such as the fire department, becoming a certified firefighter. You can take a builder's test and get your license and start building, but to acquire a designation through the Home Builders Association, that just shows that you've taken additional courses and you have a certain amount of experience as far as the length of time that you've been building. And that you're an active member of an association and stuff like that. And as part of trying to, make a very good, enjoyable process and process that our clients can be confident in, one thing that we continually try to integrate into our company is training. And so, pursuing those designations is really important. I received mine, I guess it was last year sometime. My cousin, who actually works with us as well, he's in the process of working through his. I have plans to pursue a graduate builder designation as well here soon, master graduate builder. And moving forward, that's going to be a key part of, advancing within our company is, getting those different designations.
So designations is the term for that, like those little badges that you see at the bottom of your website, because you have several down there. I only noted a couple.
Yeah.
But it totally brings in more credibility, right?
Yeah.
It's like a resume.
Yeah.
As the buyer, it would definitely give me confidence in you. Like, oh, okay, they take it for real. The training, you gotta keep up. I would gather there's coding stuff that you have to keep up with, or whatever training it may be that's strengthening your service. That's nice. That's great. So the other one, or one of the other ones, was DeSoto's Best 2017. So is that a small business or a medium-sized business award?
Yeah, that was a Home Builder of the Year. I think, if I remember correctly. Okay. It's been a minute, but yeah, that was the DeSoto's Best award nomination and voting always takes place. I think they start nominating in November or December and start voting, and then results usually come out maybe February. I may have gotten that completely wrong, but hopefully not.
That's all good.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun award voting process that they have every year in DeSoto County. So,
well, good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's educate a little bit. There might be some people watching or listening to this that would like to learn more in a way of how this works. So part of that, people like learning from other people's mistakes or struggles.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say mistake. That's a bad word. Struggle.
Yeah.
There is no mistake, right? You get hit with different problems, and it's a journey to find those solutions, right?
Yeah.
What was one, that first story that pops in your mind as that first real challenge that you experienced within this business?
Oh man, there's
yeah, it's like asking someone their favorite band or their favorite song. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, for instance, I'm not perfect, and no one in the business is perfect, and success is lined with failure. It's just a matter of
failing forward.
Yeah,
brother.
Failing forward. That's all you're doing, man.
That's right.
But COVID was a huge, and I know that's not the first one. That's just the first one that comes to mind. But
sure, well, that's a big one. We can talk about it, because I would gather, the supply chain was probably your big deal.
Yeah,
obviously economy too, but wood didn't the price of wood just skyrocket on you?
Well, yeah, wood, and honestly, as a home builder, you're try to keep people on budget, on schedule, and maintain quality. And what we saw with COVID was something we had never seen before, and basically a deterioration of all of that overnight. You couldn't get products. We had, lumber suppliers that at, some points were telling us, we don't have, so many 2x4s on the yard or something, which is really scary because that's a pretty essential ingredient of your home,
I would think so.
and then you have items like your windows and your, cabinetry and stuff that got backlogged so far that it started messing schedules up. So, but you can look at that from the negative angle, or you can, just kind of look at it as a learning experience. And for me, if there was anything to learn out of that, it was, you can never stop innovating.
Right.
You never know what's coming. It changed everything. And
good. Again, finding solutions to new problems.
Yeah.
A lot of these little mom and pop, wing stops and sandwich shops, they all had to go to curbside.
Yeah.
But now they know how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the silver lining in that for sure.
And for the first time, I found myself doing Zoom meetings with potential clients.
And it's I don't know, Skype.
Yeah.
How did you miss this? Skype, you were first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were the first platform, but
That's
Zoom just swooped right in and
took it.
owned that market.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I was already working on it too. Zoom is amazing for business conferencing. Like I just had a meeting with one of my team members today, and you can screen share, and it's just my team's all over the country. It's all remote, so Zoom just can connect you, which I love.
Yeah, it's an awesome platform.
I was fortunate in COVID, business wise, like people had time and money, so podcasting was very popular.
Yeah,
more popular than now. There was a little peak.
Yeah,
2022 or 2021 is when I started losing.
Yeah,
but personally, I had just moved from Memphis to Olive Branch, as Olive Branch was sort of a stepping stone to here. And I moved in January of 2020 and had to furnish this whole 2-bedroom apartment from scratch.
Yeah.
And thank God all my stuff came in. Because let's say I was a month behind on that, I could have been sleeping on my floor for months.
Oh, yeah.
Before getting my couch or my bed or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it left nothing untouched.
Exactly. It's just everything shut down. So I was grateful for that. And then,
Yeah.
So forever now, my whole entire Olive Branch experience was all COVID, just staying inside.
So, you probably don't like driving to Olive Branch anymore. So
No. Hey, I love Olive Branch. But Hernando's better. Nah, just kidding. Well, great. So, what's the future look like? Where do you see this going over the next 5 years?
I'd like over the next 5-10 years to really start to build our team out. Like I said, we were talking about things that we're doing, moving into this year, preparing for the homes that we have coming down the pipe, and as we continue to grow and continue to strengthen. Right now we have a good team, but we know that, like you said, there's a scary, growth is scary, and we know that's coming. And honestly, I'm hoping over the next 5 to 10 years to grow our team and our clientele.
Would it also grow regionally? Are you trying to maybe increase your radius of coverage?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see that. I think right now we're in such a desirable location. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy where we're at, but maybe long-term goals.
Yeah. Hernando's certainly a hot spot right now for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so glad to be here.
I
love it here. Well, that's awesome, man. Look, is there anything we're missing? Is there something that you would like to add about your business? Anything? I don't want to miss anything.
I mean, obviously, if you're looking to build a new custom home, we'd love the opportunity to speak with you. You can find all of our information on our website, like Derrick was saying at the beginning of the podcast. But I mean, aside from that, Hernando is a great community, man, and I'm excited about being able to do this with you. And I love listening to some of the other stories of people that have. I was listening to Cedar Hill Farms,
Robert Foster, good story.
And I graduated with his brother, and I mean we're friends from way back. But I mean I didn't know a lot of the things that he was talking about.
Another family business, generational family business.
Yeah, for sure.
Great story. And Robert was really nice to let me hang out over there and set my gear up right in front of his counter, right in the main lobby. Well, great. I appreciate you listening and engaging with this podcast too, because that's definitely what can help grow this, and it's a win-win for everybody.
That's right.
This is hopefully going to be a win for you if you get one person that says, "Hey, I heard you on the podcast," man, that's music to my ears, It helps. This is more about story, but also as a way to promote this local business in this Hernando area. I mean, it's amazing how many businesses are here.
Yeah, and I appreciate insane. You doing this on behalf of all the other businesses as well. It's I mean, it's an awesome area, man. I've lived here my whole life, and it's been just it's never seemed to have lost that small home, small town feel. So,
well, I've always said, because I'm in an apartment right now, I want to pour concrete around these tent poles finally in my life. So maybe we can talk in a year and get half off custom home.
That's
How
right.
about that? So I'm not saying buy yet, but I do want to talk to the audience here. We need to
Okay.
challenge the audience and kind of educate them on how to best support this podcast. So first off, if you're watching or listening to this, thank you.
Yep.
And you've made it to the end. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So here are 5 ways to help support this podcast. Go to our website. Number 1, therealhernando.com. Click that subscribe button, the top right-hand corner. All it's going to ask for is an email. And what that is for is you get email notifications for new episodes. While on the website, find an episode that you like, click into it, grab that URL, and share it with friends and family. Email. Throw it on your Facebook page. Do stuff like that. That's hugely helpful. Go to our YouTube channel. Subscribe there. If you're only a listener, if you could still just go subscribe to the channel, you don't even have to touch it again. But getting subscribers is helpful. Follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher. Leave us ratings and reviews. That's another great way. And then following us on our socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. All are at The Real Hernando. And that's where it can get really powerful. Just share one of our posts to your story, to your feed, tag people, direct people to these posts. We post clips. You get a few clips, Brandon, on promoting this full episode too. So, share. Sharing is caring. It's really the key to this. And awesome. Brandon, It was a pleasure finally doing this with you. I'm glad that you made it over here and that we can, share your story.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Derrick.
Yes,
It's been awesome. So.
All right. Thanks, everybody.